What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Test Your Might, the weekly video game debate show. My name is Mike, and today we will be discussing the death of E3 and Sonic, PSVR 2, Tears of the Kingdom, and so much more. But first, let me introduce the panel. We got none other than... haven't done this in a while. None other than a person who is wearing one of the coolest hats I've ever seen. That is Justin. What's up, Justin?
Oh, I thought it was the Yankees.
No, of course it's your hat. What are you talking about?
Quack, quack, quack. The Duck's back and ready to debate.
Yes, listeners, go to our YouTube channel and check out this horror-themed hat that Justin's wearing, please. And then check out this NY hat that somebody's got on. His name is Cicero Holmes. How's it going?
It's going well. You didn't see the sides of my hat. You got to check out.
It's got a skyline.
Yeah. No, you didn't see the sides of mine either. It's got full
exactly.
details, full coverage.
Yeah. So this is welcome to Hat Talk. This is the Hat Attack. I'm doing pretty great. Mike, I don't know if you heard it.
I don't have a hat.
But yeah, you messed up. You messed up. I don't know if you heard it, but I said happy birthday to your mother from me for our birthday.
Yes, I did hear it.
Okay.
I did hear it. And we were me and my mom were talking about you the other day. She says,
"Oh, okay.
You're a scholar and a gentleman." She didn't actually say that. She said you're a very nice man.
Yeah, sure. She also didn't say that.
No, she did. I promise you, she did. She did. She said you're a very nice man. That's what she said.
All right.
All right, listeners. Thanks again for joining the shenanigans here at Test Your Might. Please leave us a review on any podcatcher of choice. Apple Podcasts is the best place to do so. We only have 9 reviews. If you're listening to my voice right now, can you be challenged right now? Can we get to 20 reviews? Whether or not that is you leaving a comment or just a rating on Apple Podcasts. If you're listening to my voice, please leave a review. Spotify, you could do it on the mobile app only. You can leave a star rating there. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We would greatly appreciate it. A little bit of housekeeping for you. Our John Wick trilogy review is out, and we'll hopefully get a review of the 4th one out as well. I don't know when that is going to happen, but I know that I'm going to be seeing it hopefully this next weekend, and maybe one of these jokers can join me on the podcast. So if not, I know Sean.
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Quadrilogy. There you go, Jelly.
Yeah. Quadrilogy. Please listen to the episode. We love you, Jelly.
Well, it'll be a quintilogy.
Yeah, if they make a 5th one,
it's going to keep going.
It is not determined yet. Anyway,
it's not slowing down anytime soon.
Okay, Cicero.
Yeah.
You are such a very nice man, and I hope that you would tell us what you have been playing.
Okay, I'll very nicely tell you that I've been playing Marvel
so.
Snap. I've been playing Marvel Snap. I have not approached the level of duckness. But I
it's
am
an adjective now.
Yes, exactly. I am getting better.
That's good.
I am getting better. So so I am almost to the point where I stink. So
okay.
So
you sucked before, and now you stink.
Yeah, you stink. Yeah. I'm definitely getting better. I can see myself getting better in the game. It still has its hooks in me. I don't know that I'm gonna finish because I think we've got like maybe a day of this recording.
Yeah.
Of the past left. I may come a couple of levels short. I just won't have enough time. But yeah, I've got I keep doing it. It still remains to be fun. It still remains being fun. I have also played baseball, but not MLB The Show 23, the new baseball that has released. I am downloading that game as we speak. I was playing MLB The Show 22, saying goodbye to my character, lamenting the fact that unlike previous years, unlike when this game was a PlayStation exclusive, I will not have the opportunity to continue playing the career of the player that I've played for all of last season. In this season, the characters don't carry over in the Road to the Show mode as they had previously, and that really upsets me. But playing a little bit of MLB The Show, playing a little bit of Madden, playing some NHL, playing some Call of Duty. Like, I'm not playing anything new, is basically what I'm saying. But I think by the time we talk about this next week, I probably will have.
Okay, cool. Just I'm going to sneak in here because going off Cicero, I'm playing the new MLB The Show 23. And it is tremendous. I skipped 22, didn't play it, downloaded it, but then uninstalled it. But I was really enticed by this one because they have a new mode called the Negro Leagues. And it's sort of a historical walk through 10 different players that played in the Negro Leagues before they were able to join the MLB. So it's really, really interesting and fascinating to learn about a history that I just don't know about. And quite frankly, I think this is one of the quintessential must-play modes in any sports game I've played in a long time. This is going back to like when 2K first brought Michael Jordan to the cover, and they did this like historical moments type thing with MJ and his games. Like this is must play video games here. Like it's really a phenomenal history lesson. They got the president of the Negro League museum to narrate it all and stuff. So it's just really, really well done. Again, I do think it's a must play if you are a baseball fan and definitely want to learn about that history. Guys, I was in a very, very spooky mode. And so I played Resident Evil 2 Remake for the first time. And I am here to tell you that it is in my top 10 games of all time. I loved that game. That game is so good. I think that it perfectly balances survival horror in action in a way that was incredibly tense. Just there were jump scares. It was just awesome. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And I know that's weird to say, but man, did I have a fantastic time. The tenseness, the updated graphics, because we got the Series X version, so I was playing that version. And yeah, just awesome environments. Going through that police station is so fun. And I was really missing the police station when I played Resident Evil 3 Remake. Yes, I beat 2 games in the span of since I've been on this podcast. I know it's crazy, but I beat both of those 2. Resident Evil 3 Remake, there is a section where you're actually playing in the police station. So I was like, oh yeah, this is my old crib, like I know what I'm doing here. So yeah, both of them were fun. Resident Evil 3 Remake is a little more action-y than I wanted, because Resident Evil 2 was such a perfect blend of like puzzle and tenseness and survival horror type deal that it was just perfect. I love that game so much. RE2 Remake, top 10. Yeah. Oh, I did start Resident Evil 7 because I've been in a Resident Evil mode, and then I'm gonna go into Resident Evil 8 after 7 because I know Justin, that's one of your favorites. So I'm going to that, and then I'm doing this all in anticipation for when I finally get my hands on RE4 Remake. So I'm really excited to get my hands on that. So
may I just say how impressed and proud I am of you, Mike. because at the start of this podcast, you were primarily a sports ball video game player and Apex, right?
Yeah,
and you really have broken out of your shell. You're playing indie games. You're finishing all sorts of games that not only weren't on your radar. You would have laughed at the thought that you would be even playing those games a few years ago. So I mean, that is incredible. Kudos to you, sir. And it just goes to show you just how great and diverse the game space is. Playing video games. Someone could be so deep in one corner and they could spend their entire lives playing those games and be completely satisfied, and then be exposed to all of this other stuff, and now has a chance to really enjoy the full breadth of the medium. So congrats.
Yeah, and just a little context to that, Cicero. Thank you. I appreciate the high praise. But what Cicero was talking about, just a little context. Last year I beat 10 games in total. I'm already at 7 games beat this year.
Wow.
And it's only April 2nd as of this recording. So yeah, I'm in a weird, like, sort of renaissance of gaming for myself, because again, and me and Justin grew up. You listeners, you knew that we grew up together. So he knows I would bring my 360 over to his place. I would play on his little PlayStation 3D TV that he's looking at right now. It's his second monitor. And I would plug in my Xbox and I would play Tomb Raider 2013. And then I would switch over to NHL or Madden. Like, that's all I would play. And so, yeah, I mean, thank you, Cicero. I appreciate it. Video games are great, guys. Play more games. Justin, what have you been playing?
A little bit of Marvel Snap, a little bit of Minecraft, some Call of Duty on the side. Too. And then I started playing Farm Simulator 2022, which I used to play.
We are checking all the boxes here tonight. We got sports ball.
Yeah, Farming Simulator is a great game. If you like simulators, it is one of the most realistic simulators you will ever play. From cutting down trees to farming animals, husbandry, like all of the farming stuff that you would have, you can do in that game, and visually it looks great. Then I played I'd say about an hour and a half of Diablo 4. I got into the open beta and I got to try it out and loved the crap out of it, and then got cut off. So I booted up Diablo 3 and I was like, all right, I need more. So started a new run on that. Been playing that for a bit, enjoying it as a necromancer, which is kind of my go-to. Then I tried out Civilization 6 on the Xbox because it just came out to Game Pass. And I'm a Civilization fan, and Civilization 6 is there, and it works amazingly.
Does it really?
It does. It is amazing.
Pad. Wow.
The fact that these RTSs, Age of Empires, right, and now this, like Halo Wars was the same but kind of different.
Right.
And it really gets me excited to the fact that they can do this on a gamepad and make it feel unique and also feel something that you have in your heart. You've played it so much on the PC and you enjoy using a mouse and keyboard. And the cool part is, since I have that knowledge of playing it before, you don't have to just go through a whole tutorial. You can literally select new on this platform, and it teaches you just the stuff that transfers over and how to control it with a gamepad. And then you continue playing the game like you would every other console that you've played it on. And it is smooth as butter. I'm telling you, this game runs amazing on the Series X, which is what I'm playing it on. And if you're into turn-based kind of real-time strategy games, so you don't have to it's not clicks per second. It is chill and relaxed, but it takes a really long time, and you enjoy it all the way through. Try it out. Civilization 6 just came to Game Pass, and I can't give it enough high praise. It is a very good port.
Are there save points? Can you save a multiplayer?
You can save anytime. And, multiplayer, you can't. No. Yeah. No, you cannot do that. Just like the PC, you can't save a multiplayer.
But
because
you can set up timers, though. You can set up like limits for.
You can set up turn limits and that kind of stuff. You can do that still, but you can't really like pause it and then come back to it 3 days later because obviously the other people are playing too. But yeah, no, it is relaxing for sure, and it looks so good. It's smooth like butter is the best thing I can use to describe it. Seriously, it runs so well and looks great and controls well as well. I'm amazed at how they are able to take those RTSs and put it in a gamepad and make it work fluidly. And it's a turning point. It's coming out. It's going to be the future. Don't think you need a keyboard and mouse to play it because they found a way and they're going to continue doing it.
Life finds a way.
Yes.
That's really interesting you bring that up, Justin, because you brought up a couple genres, a couple game series that have have been brought over to the console side and use gamepads primarily in Diablo as well as the Civilization, and it's quite crazy that it seems like they work really well with the gamepad. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there's only one big step that they need to take, and that's going to be World of Warcraft, and let's see what they can do if they ever decide to bring it to consoles. How will that be feasible? And if they can, more power to them. Like that is a strong point. If you can get World of Warcraft working with the gamepad, and feel good about it, that's going to be a big step in the right direction. You know, like one small step for man, moment for that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that has been what we have been playing. Let us know down in the comments what you have been playing. All right, gentlemen, are you ready for Test Your Might, the namesake of the show?
Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
I'm ready enough. I mean, you guys are
just like the Yankees, they're going down. It's okay. Michael Myers is here, and he also went down, so it's all good.
All right. Well, sounds good.
Chucky
that's my Chucky one. All right. So let's go with the death of E3. And yeah, I'm calling it potential death of E3 and the future of it uncertain. Pitch a replacement for E3, but we're going a little wild and buck wild here. You got to pitch me the craziest convention that you can think of surrounding video games to replace E3. So I would say get as far away from conventional and that you can. So, all right. Let's see. Duck.
Yeah.
Thinking of a number between 1 and 30.
Well, I'm glad that I waited this time. I'm gonna go with 17.
No, that's literally the number I'm thinking of. 17.
No way.
Yeah, hey. I'm not even joking. All right, you can decide if you want to go first or second.
Well, I'm off to a strong start, Cicero.
Man, Cicero, I'm sorry. If this goes to a tie, you're screwed in that Metacritic.
Cicero, go ahead. I want to give you the power this time.
All right. The power is mine. So, E3 is dead. Long live E3. Part of the problem with E3 was that it was a convention in one space where everybody came to them. We're going to have E365, where every day the convention goes to a new city in the United States. They roll out 3 buses Madden style, where they've got game stations, they've got just all of your favorite, all your favorite personalities in gaming. Phil Spencer's on the bus, Shohei Yoshida is on the bus, you got Reggie Fils-Aimé is on the bus, Greg Miller's on the bus, and they just drive every day for a year, and they just go to different cities, and people just show up in the local cities, and they have a day of sitting around and hanging out and experiencing games. E365 But also, there will be food trucks, but only local to the region. So there will be food trucks that show up that are specific to the region, and they will have video game based foodstuffs. So yeah, that's what it's gonna be. E365.
Go ahead, Justin.
A lot of gas. All right, so we've got E3.
No, it's all electric. It's all electric.
Yeah,
Food trucks too. Dang, that's cool.
Yeah, it's all electric.
So E3 is dead. Personally, I don't think we need a replacement. I think we have, Summer Games Fest. We have, the Keeleys. We have things that are available to us. We have PAX. We have PAX East and we have PAX West. When does East meet West, and not just in Wild Wild West? This is the PAX Midwest Convention. This is a convention that brings both sides of the USA and everyone from other countries over to the middle, the heart of America, right here in Chicago. And this is going to bridge the gap. So that way, sometimes, most people can't fly to California or fly over to the east side of the states.
Boston.
So let's keep it right in the middle here and allow both parties to only move half the distance to get to the same place. This is going to allow all of the people that want to go to get to somewhere that's a little bit more feasible. And not only that, since we're bringing in all of the other countries of the world into the heart of the United States, let's tie it with esports and bring the esports Olympics to the heart of America and have them play the games that they're supposed to play for the esports championships. Bring Halo back, bring League of Legends back, bring all the crowds to see new games and the games of the future and the games of the past, of course, into one location right in the middle of America. That's PAX Midwest.
Go ahead, Cicero.
PAX Midwest sounds like a thing that could happen. I thought when you said that, when you were talking about East meeting West, I thought you were talking about the crossroads of the country, and that you were going to say that PAX Midwest should be in St. Louis, which would have been the right answer. But okay, whatever, that's fine. But E365 will go to St. Louis, right? And while they're there, they're going to be some rib food trucks, and maybe Nelly will perform and have Air Force One, right? Like there will be, every time it stops, every place it stops, there will be an event. We will have not one convention, but 365 conventions. Imagine the types of bonds that Shuhei Yoshida and Phil Spencer and Reggie Fils-Aimé can foster in 365 days of being on buses together. That is what, so like you get to like E300, day 300 out of 365. Can you imagine the type of keynotes that they're going to be able to make in like Walla Walla, Washington, or Perth Amboy, New Jersey? It's gonna be incredible.
Cicero, having this thing go 365 has a few flaws. And I'm sure you know about these flaws. I'm sure you can see these flaws. One is you don't want the CEO of your company or all of the gaming companies to be busy every single day with events and not helping out what you like them for, what you love them for, is creating games and adding games to your catalogs and helping you continue your gaming lifestyle. So if they're busy every single day of the year, number one, that's terrible. And for money and everything else, sure, it's crazy. I agree with that. That might be a little bit loopy and crazy, like Looney Tune crazy, way off the block. Because if you're saying 365, Cicero, this isn't just 1 year long 365. this continues nonstop for the rest of their careers. And they have jobs, Cicero.
Precisely.
They have jobs.
Hey, listen, with your job comes great responsibility. And part of that responsibility is to be
not doing your job?
Is to deliver the keynote speech on E365. When
Cicero, there's no feasible way for them to bring new
when
news
you are in
throughout
Landover, Maryland. Hey, listen, when you have to stop at Flint, Michigan on day 75, right?
Eat from food trucks every single day.
Right, exactly. You're eating from the food trucks in Flint. Don't drink the water there, but eat from the food trucks there. I want to make sure that we're getting the same quality of keynote in Flint, Michigan that we're getting in Richmond, Virginia, that we're getting in New York City, that we're getting in Chicago, Illinois, that we're getting in Evansville, Indiana. Like, this is what we want.
Gamers do not go to these events for a subpar experience.
Oh,
you're not going to be able to set up. You're not going to be able to set up these events the day they're in the city and continue to thrill and excite gamers alike just because you're in their hometown. You go to these events to see the big show. Right. You go to these events to see the setup and all the new stuff. If you're seeing it year round, you're not seeing new stuff every year. That's not.
Well, you're not seeing it year round. When was the last time?
365.
When was the last time Reggie Fils-Aimé was in Metropolis, Illinois? Right? Like, come on. Come on. We're going to get to see a picture of Reggie next to a statue of Superman. That is unique. That is only going to happen on that one day.
Until it comes back around next year.
On that one day, they're not going to go. There's more than 300 cities in the country, 365 cities in the country. They're going to go, yes, they're going to go to New York every year. They're going to go to Seattle every year. They're going to go to L.A. every year.
Favoritism.
They're going to go to Chicago every year. Of course, these are the biggest cities in the country. They're going to go to those places. But, this year I'll go to Metropolis. Next year I'll go to Philip Campbell, Alabama. That's a real place. Look it up. But like, that's the type of stuff that we're gonna get, and those people don't get a chance to see those things in their home areas, in their hometowns. They don't get those opportunities.
So
it's
you're not going to charge ticket prices?
Huh?
You're not going to charge ticket prices for the cities that.
Sure.
Okay. So these families that live in the hometown
right.
are not going to be able to get free access to the event.
No, it's not going to be.
That's where you're making your money.
It's going to be nominal. It'll be nominal.
And they're going to make back the feasible budget to set up a show every day.
Of course.
And also pay for the entire salaries of all these CEOs.
No, they're not paying it. They got other jobs. They got jobs. They're taking meetings. They're doing that kind of stuff. They're doing that stuff. What are you doing? You got a keynote. Keynote is only 5 minutes.
I'm gonna keynote now. It's my turn. All right, good fight, guys. I love it. Let me take you back to when I asked you the question. The question specifically does say craziest does win. And Cicero, you're crazy. So I'm giving it to you. Justin, I think if we were arguing, I think your idea is really good if we were trying to argue a regular convention. Right. But I asked for crazy, and yours was not crazy enough there, Justin.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
that was insane. All right. Next one on the docket.
Hey,
the murder.
Pop, I'm here for you.
Yeah, Reed Pop needs you now. You guys.
Yeah.
A surprise shadow dropped game, The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, is a virtual mystery novel that got surprisingly released. What other franchise deserves a virtual murder mystery novel? All right. I'm going losers out this time. So, Justin, you are still first here. What do you got? Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right. Let me take you back to when I was a little duckling, and I used to read some books growing up. little novels, little graphic novels, little art books. And there was this little tiny chimpanzee who was always getting into all kinds of mischief. He was a little bit too curious, if you'd ask me. But what happens when you're too curious? You end up dead. We're talking about Curious George, the cutting of Curious George here today. Someone killed him, and it's up to you, Mr. Man in the Yellow Hat, to figure out who actually killed him.
Well, I did not specifically say video game franchise, so
There's Curious George games.
I'm still all for it. I'm all for it. I'm the man with the yellow hat seeing George dead. Holy cow, we're going somewhere today. Cicero.
Yeah, it's a graphic novel.
Yeah, sounds it. Go ahead, Cicero.
You know, sometimes when you have your best friend, you guys are able to play off of each other. What happens if your best friend is gone? And you don't know exactly what happened, but your job is to figure that out. And that's exactly what our hero will do in Rare's newest game, Banjo-Kazooie, The Death of Kazooie.
I like the rhyme. That's good.
Oh, that was good. All right, Justin, go.
All right. Well, we've got Cutting Curious George, right? We've got this little chimpanzee who couldn't really talk, but is a valid character nowadays. Everyone knows who Curious George is. Everyone grew up with him. So seeing him end up dead tugs at heartstring for a lot of people. And I feel like playing through this murder mystery of trying to figure out who actually did kill this little chimpanzee. You've got Betsy. You've got lots of characters. You got Betsy. You got Junior, which is the little guy from the mall, if you watch the movies. Steve the kid, Bill, Allie. We've got lots of characters that it could be or it could not be. And the man with the yellow hat already looks like a detective most of the time. So it is your job to question, investigate, and find out exactly how curious he was before he was slain. This poor little monkey robbed from our hearts. And it's your job to find out who's at fault. Curious George. The Cutting of Curious George.
Cicero?
Bluey.
Well, I mean, Curious George, you gotta make sure that we understand exactly what's going on. Well, what we didn't know about the world of Banjo-Kazooie is that Mumbo Jumbo is a detective. And Mumbo Jumbo is sitting here and trying to figure out who. We saw Kazooie go around this corner. We saw a bomb come in, and then we saw the explosion and feathers. And Kazooie was nowhere to be found. Now Banjo needs to know who killed his friend. Who did this? Could it have been Gruntilda? Or maybe even Jinjo? Or Humble Wumba? It couldn't have been Tootie, but it could have been Tootie. But it couldn't have been Tootie. You will go through this game, going around, and the cool thing about this game is that it's going to have a lot of it's gonna borrow pretty heavily from a really, really great game by Rockstar called LA Confidential. Or was it called LA Confidential? No, what was it called? That was the name of the movie. What was the name of that Rockstar game?
I can't help you.
Okay, well then don't help me. Yeah, it's that Rockstar game that where
I'm a nice person. L.A. Noir.
L.A. Noir. Yes, there you go. Not L.A. Confidential. L.A. Noir. It's gonna have elements of that. So where Kazooie is questioning people, and they may have tells, and he'll use those tells. Like maybe he'll get those tells correct. Maybe he won't get those tells correct. But he'll use those tells to try and help them figure out exactly who was the culprit that ended the life of Kazooie, that made Kazooie go kablooey.
All right. Well, all right. That's cool. This is a graphic novel. So the cool part about graphic novels is they don't take up a lot of disk space. You know, they're small games, but that doesn't mean by any means that they're short games. The cool part about cutting Curious George is every time you boot up a new game, it's a different killer. It's a different ending. Someone else killed him in a different place or location by different means. Curious George goes to a lot of different places in the show and also the cartoon and books. He goes to the park, the chocolate factory. There are many different locations that he could be murdered. And it is your job to figure out who did it in that specific moment. So that way the replayability of this game is huge. The cool part is we got Jack Johnson back. I know it's crazy to hear, but Jack Johnson did a lot of the music for the movie that came out recently, or not so recently, but semi-recently. But the difference is all of his music is redubbed and toned down, which brings a more deep and dark, gruesome kind of feel to the entire game. Sure, you're going to have that high-lipped moment when you find out who the killer is or you try to unmask who it is, but for the most of the game, it's going to be more of a mellow, chill, creepy vibe, which is really going to take a tone of Curious George for adults, which is something that's really interesting to think about and something that we didn't know we wanted, but once you try it out, you'll love it. If you're ever into murder mysteries, give it a try, and I'm sure you won't have the same stories to tell your friends that they had.
Cicero, last rebuttal.
Yeah, so just like L.A. Noire, there won't be a definitive ending to this game, but there will be several possible endings. So not to say that I'm borrowing from your idea, Duck, but our games are going to be similar in that way, that depending on how Banjo interrogates people and how well Banjo does or how well you do as playing Banjo will determine who made Kazooie go kablooey. And here's a little hint that the best ending is that Kazooie didn't go kablooey. He just got pushed into a trap door and he was hiding. And
Spoilers.
yeah, and you're able to find the person who tried to make him go kablooey and Kazooie, so you could have the best ending. Spoilers for a game that's in my head.
Yeah.
Curious George is dead. That's the plot of my game. Sorry, there's no difference there. You find his body, he's dead.
All right, calling it. Hey, Cicero. Holy cow, that name got me. That was so good for your title. But I do believe that Justin sort of fleshed out the novel side of it a little bit better, as well as the ability, and Justin went into this, I'm not just pushing this narrative, the ability to go into the different story elements from the source material from Curious George really won him that argument. So we got a tie ball game, 1-1. Cicero, this question goes to you first.
All right.
The recent Tears of the Kingdom gameplay trailer shows a new ability called Fuse, which allows you to fuse together two objects to create different weapons. So if you haven't seen the trailer, it does, like, you have a stick and then you could fuse it with a rock to make sort of this like rock hammer. Or, like, you could have this really long spear and then fuse it with a pitchfork, and then you have a super long spear with a pitchfork at the end of it. It was really cool. So, Cicero, your task is to use any video game and combine two weapons to make the most useful weapon of all time. Now, useful is the key word here. Usefulness is what I am looking for in the argument. Again, you could use two different weapons from any video games. You must fuse them together. Cicero, would you like to go first or second?
So I can, just a point of clarification, I can pick two weapons from two separate video games and combine those weapons together.
Yep, so you could do like the Master Chief Needler, and then you could go the Chainsaw and Gears of War, something like that. You can do two different video games. You can also do one video game if you'd like to. That's totally up to you.
Okay.
But go ahead, first or second.
I will allow Justin to go first.
Okay.
All right. Well, I thought about this for a little bit, and then I had a moment of clarification. I chose Minecraft. And the reason being is there's a few items in Minecraft that are kind of underused. Sure, you can use them, but they aren't as beneficial to you as they could be. I'm talking about the bow for ranged combat, one of the few weapons for ranged combat in Minecraft, and also TNT. TNT is used for trap making mostly because you have to set it, you have to trigger it, and then it bounces around for a little bit and then explodes. But say fusing a bow and TNT together, you're going to be able to have long range combat with instant exploding, and also the ability to mine efficiently and safely to keep yourself out of the holes of lava, enemies in your path. It really does help. Not even mentioning the fact you can enchant these items and make them infinite, things that really are the pro players' techniques for Minecraft. But this allows you to have that ranged safety while also using it for mining when you're not fighting people. I feel like it would really help out the game, and taking those two not so used weapons and making them highly effective so that they bring them to the forefront of Minecraft would be beneficial for the game meta.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm going to make this a little bit easier, at least from my perspective. I'm going to take a lightsaber from Jedi
Fallen Order?
Fallen Order.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to use Fallen Order, a lightsaber from Fallen Order, and a wand from not from Harry Potter, from Hogwarts Legacy.
A lightsaber wand?
Yes, a lightsaber wand.
Okay, continue.
So, with your lightsaber wand, not only will you be able to cut through anything, but you'll also be able to cast spells with it and use it as a projectile. So it will, so when you would normally attack in Hogwarts Legacy using it as a projectile, you will also have the power of the Kyber crystal hitting that adversary. So it may literally just disintegrate them. It may melt them. But you could also create a stupefy bubble or something to that effect. And and then they're frozen with that force effect that you saw from, like the Force Awakens, where their bolts are stuck in the air and they're just vibrating in the air. You can see the people also vibrating. And all of this stuff makes sense because they're both wands of sorts. So you could definitely see that happening, and you can imagine the hilt of the lightsaber, because it's going to look mostly like a lightsaber, but there may be some different like coloring. But if you look at the hilt of the lightsaber, you will see like the tree bark around the hilt. So there'll be, grooves and knots in the hilt of the lightsaber.
Okay, Justin, for this rebuttal, I only want you bashing the weapon. No uplifting yours.
Well, first you gotta
You're
unmute
muted.
yourself.
You're muted.
Let's read his lips. Am I muted?
I'm
No,
muted.
all right.
Am I
Yeah.
better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, better now.
All right. So there is a fine line between space wizards and witches and wizards from Hogwarts. Okay. This weapon, you said lightsaber. You didn't say force ability, which you started defending force ability as hovering the two ships and vibrating. That's force ability. That's not the lightsaber. The lightsaber is cutting, destroying enemies. That's it. Okay. You don't have force. You have magic powers, sure, because it's Hogwarts Legacy with the wand. But in this game, do you really want to bring that rating to Peggy 19? Like, do you really want to kill, like, and slice people in half in Hogwarts Legacy? Like, you don't need to do that. This game is about magic, not about brute force with a blade. And that's what the lightsaber is. It's a blade of high-tech quality. You're going to take the point of Hogwarts Legacy, the magic, and downplay it and bring in a lightsaber. This is not going to work. I'm sorry. You do not want that in Hogwarts Legacy. That does not make the game better. That eliminates the whole point of the game. You have magic for the reason of Hogwarts Legacy, and that's what the wand is there for. You don't need another blunt object to just bash people in when you have spells to do that. That's what it is. It's supposed to be range combat. Sure, you bring them in, but you still are using spells to knock them around. You're not hitting them with a frying pan or any other melee weapon. This is not what Hogwarts Legacy is, and I don't think it would work properly for the game.
Cicero, same thing. Only bashing. No rebuttal to his bashing, but only bashing on the bow for ranged and TNT with the bow.
So a TNT bow?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay. So first off, I don't think that's that original, right? We've gotten TNT bows in Tomb Raider. We've gotten TNT bows in basically the first Legend of Zelda. It wasn't necessarily a TNT bow, but you could place some dynamite and shoot it. TNT, you shoot a bow, break up or you throw the bomb and you break up the wall and you do all this stuff. But it's been done. It's been done is the point. And I don't know what the applications of that are that would be unique to whatever game it is that you'd be playing those things in. But I don't know that any of it would be unique because we've already gotten TNT bows.
All right, Justin, just uplifting yours.
Sure. So the amount of uses that this would have, from mining safely to effectively killing ranged enemies, and also trolling, which is a big part of Minecraft. You would be able to use this bow effectively from a range and also cause destruction on the other end. Something that Minecraft lacks. The ranged combat isn't there. And some players like to stay away from zombies and pigmen and skeletons. Skeletons have range that are effectively damaging you very quickly. And if you're not skilled enough to aim precisely, which most players that play Minecraft aren't, it is for the younger audience, this could help you by adding an explosion to your range. You don't have to be as precise with your shots because you're still hitting them like a creeper explosion next to them. This TNT would allow that, accessibility range for the younger audience, and also for the highly skilled audience. You would be able to use it in battles like that, which is another big part of Minecraft for the older audience. Having a tool at your disposal to be able to mine or destroy from a distance without risking your own life is huge for Minecraft, and it's not in there currently. So sure, it's not something that's been done, it's not brand new, but it's something that's new to Minecraft, and that could really move the game forward, which is definitely going to keep it from being stale when it can be used both non-aggressively and aggressively for your own game style.
Cicero, uplift your weapon, and then we'll call it.
Okay, so I will uplift by rebutting. So one of the things that Duck had to say about this weapon was that there wouldn't be force powers. That I was alleging that there would be force powers with this weapon. There aren't any force powers with this weapon. It is a lightsaber. It is just kyber crystals, but it is also magical because it is a magic wand. So you'll be able to do magic wand type stuff with it. And maybe some of those things that are magic wand type stuff will evoke some Star Wars like effects with it in random game, which is another thing. There was an assumption made that this game would be Hogwarts Legacy. It doesn't have to be Hogwarts Legacy. It could be any game. And in fact, let's talk about why this weapon is the best weapon of all time. Because, as we know, it is a lightsaber, which means that you can use it to deflect bullets or blasters or any of those other things. So you can effectively use it as a shield. You also have a magic wand, and you have tons of spells at your disposal. So you can use that to help, make you invisible, or put people to sleep, or make them help you, or do any number of things. And let's say you're sneaking up on someone and your job is to take that person out. There isn't a more effective and efficient weapon than a lightsaber. It comes from a more civilized age.
Okay. Good fight, guys. Really good fight. So I did not foresee the attachment to a game within this argument. So that's not the point of why I wrote the question. But I do believe that Justin sort of swayed me on the usage of a specific video game. So despite Cicero's very good dig that it is sort of unoriginal, I think Justin still takes it as far as usefulness and his argument on how useful it will be for the game Minecraft. So, giving it to him.
I just want to say,
terrible.
I just want to say, Cicero, I don't know if you've ever played Nidhogg,
Yes.
where you're like trying to deflect the other person's blade.
Yes.
I was picturing that with your lightsaber, but also casting
Right.
spells at the same time.
Yes. There you go. There you go.
Can you ever see Obi-Wan just like
Right. I got 2 points.
video listeners, you get the prime show here. That was great.
That's right. Yeah,
I do like the lightsaber and wand though.
Yeah.
Man.
Not
It's
for
the
Hogwarts
best
Legacy
weapon of
for
all
sure.
time. Yeah, no, not for just for a game, right? Like this is for a game, man. Listeners, I know that you guys are on my side.
Yeah,
I got robbed.
Yeah.
I got robbed.
Everybody gets robbed when I'm adjudicating.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
That was my bow and
Blind
arrow,
fight time.
by the way.
Yes.
So blind fight does come from me because I just thought about it 30 minutes ago.
Okay.
All right. Tekken 8, one of the most storied fighting game franchises, has been revealing fighters left and right in recent weeks. So your task is to choose a fighter, a special guest fighter that needs to go into Tekken 8. Now, obviously, we've done this before with Mortal Kombat, but we've sort of gone the horror route in this. I would challenge you, obviously, not to go horror route here, but more martial arts and maybe a character. Now, here's the thing. This blind fight has a twist.
Oh, great.
And it is a twist from none other than Jelly, the editor of this podcast.
Okay.
We have a new style of debate, gentlemen, and I believe that it is a good idea from none other than Jelly. And I'm going to tell you after I hear your choices. So, do you guys have your choices?
Whoa. Okay.
Sure, I guess.
Right.
Cicero,
okay,
you good? You
yeah.
got it?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
All right, going into Tekken. Justin, you're good?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Who is Cicero? You lost. Who is your fighter of choice?
So I am going to take. Oh, wait a minute. So since I lost, I got to pick first?
Yeah.
I'm not going to take yours. Don't worry.
Okay. So do we have to pick from a video game?
No.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, then I'm going to pick the original Drunken Master, Freddie Wong.
Freddie Wong.
Freddie Wong?
Yes.
Justin, what's your choice?
I feel like I'm going meta here, but John Wick.
John Wick. Okay. John Wick fighter in Tekken. Now, here's the twist. Our new debate style is called a friendly fight. Cicero, you will only be arguing for John Wick, and you can only say nice things about John Wick.
Okay.
There are no digging against other people's choice. Justin, you are only saying nice things about Freddie Wong. And whoever out-nices the other person wins this debate.
I think I'm looking at the wrong Freddie Wong. Hold up.
And so, Cicero, if I will do a little bit of housekeeping, if you can send Justin a link as to
Sure,
who this real Freddie Wong is. Hey, if you're listening to my voice right now, please leave a review. Remember, I challenged you to leave us a review so we could get to 20 reviews on Apple Podcasts. Again, we would really appreciate it. Spotify, you could go ahead and leave a star rating there on the mobile app only. And if you are watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment down below who you would add to Tekken 8. And say nice things about that person you would add. All right, so Justin is getting a little look into Freddie Wong here. Cicero, you have John Wick.
Right.
You may start
Okay.
now.
All right.
Only nice things.
Well, so one of the things that we know about John Wick is that he is an incredible fighter. And he manages to figure out ways to defeat his opponent, his opponent, wherever he is and whatever it is that he's doing. So sometimes that means that he'll use firearms. Sometimes that means that he will use blunt objects. Sometimes that means hand-to-hand combat. And during the game, we will get all of those things. And one of the cool things about this is that we know that John Wick is a great fighter, but he's also a great lover, a lover of dogs. And he will have his doggy companion with him to help him fight in Tekken 8.
Okay.
Go ahead, Justin.
I just want to say, Cicero, you sent me a Google search. So I clicked on Drunken Master.
There you go.
All right.
Yes.
So obviously, Freddie Wong here, he's got skills that he has mastered over the years of his life. You know, he's been a character that has been portrayed by many different people because of how amazing he was at martial arts. And I feel like Freddie Wong here would really be able to punch and kick the way that Tekken is more of a fist-to-cuff combat game. Opposed from, say, Mortal Kombat, where there's some weapons involved. Sure, he could use weapons great. He's very versatile, just like Cicero said about Mr. Wick. But I feel like the years of mastery would pull him ahead on this race in Tekken 8. And I feel like the honorable mention of him would only help bolster the character list for Tekken 8 into the future and bring old fans back that truly do love martial arts and know the history of where it began.
One of the coolest things about John Wick's addition to Tekken 8 will be that it is John Wick. So we get John Wick's dog. We also get John Wick's car. So after he finishes beating up somebody, he pulls his car in and he drives into the hospital because, he cares about them so that they can get ready to fight in the next, for the next character or the next round. So that is just, just another thing to just show that John Wick, not only is it going to be a character that's worthwhile and can hold its own in Tekken 8, but it's going to be a character that people want to play because John Wick, while he shows compassion to his adversaries, and that's what we need. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I feel like Mr. Wong would bring his own fighting style back into the forefront. He used to have Drunken Monkey, right? So he had this fighting style that he was the originator of. He starred movies about just that fighting style. Drunken Monkey was a movie. And this would also bring Jackie Chan back into the limelight, a character that we all loved growing up, as well as maybe we forgot about this fighting style, to bring it back into that limelight and also possibly bring it into a movie where, of course, Jackie Chan could star in, playing Mr. Wong yet again. This could be a great way to bring Tekken above Mortal Kombat, because Mortal Kombat did have a movie and it did great. But where's Tekken's movie that needs to bolster the game itself? And bringing the Drunken Monkey master himself into the limelight like this could only bring the martial art fans up into the sky as well. And I feel like that's why Mr. Wong would be the right character to do that. That he would be a character, a god among men in the character list, a character that everyone would want to play as, because his fighting style was unique and original, and also something that was revolutionary for Taekwondo and all the other fighting methods of its time.
So,
Cicero,
yes.
I want you to say something nice about Freddie Wong.
Well, Freddie Wong was my choice because the drunken style is beautiful chaos. It looks like he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's in absolute control. And it seems counterintuitive that the more he drinks, the more in control of his style he becomes. And that is genius personified.
Justin, nice to John Wick.
Of course. I chose John Wick because I felt that Tekken really had kind of a different fighting style that John Wick could learn from. He's obviously fought a lot of different fighting styles in his movies, but also Tekken kind of, once you get hurt, you build up power, and I feel like that's perfect for John Wick. You know, if you don't kill him, he's coming back stronger, and limit break is really a thing that would work well with John Wick to make his final moves or potentially winning moves much more stronger.
Good friendly fight, gentlemen. You guys were so nice. I love it.
It made my brain hurt so bad.
Right.
Justin, I do feel you were at a slight disadvantage just because you didn't really know who Freddie Wong was, but you were very valiant in your efforts. I think bringing in Jackie Chan was a good choice. I do have to give it to Cicero, though. I think it was more of a well balanced argument as far as being nice about John Wick, as well as his niceties towards Freddie Wong there. So, gentlemen,
For a 2-minute look
you
through,
ready?
Yeah, I did pretty well, I think.
Yeah,
No,
you did.
I really
You did.
think you did. I really think you did. I promise.
Okay.
All right. So I have a fun one
Uh-oh.
for our Metacritic. So again,
We're
listeners,
tied.
we go to a Metacritic listen or a Metacritic guessing game, and we're going with Price is Right rules. And I thought we're going to PlayStation 2 game Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance.
Oh God, that's not
And
Armageddon.
the reason I chose this is because this is the first appearance of Bo Rai Cho, the Drunken Master, in Mortal Kombat.
I remember him.
All right, this is the PlayStation 2 version. Metacritic score. Think of your numbers, please, and I want you to say them at the same time.
This is the side-scrolling Mortal Kombat
No, that's
game?
Sholong Monks, I think.
Yeah, Shaolin Monks wasn't side-scrolling. It was more of like a Diablo style thinker. But no, this is a 3D fighting game.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It was Deadly Alliance was the first after Mortal Kombat 4.
This is PS2.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
PS2.
PS2.
All right. I want you to say your numbers at the same time. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
79. 79.
What did you say, Cicero?
64.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen to me closely because Justin hit the number
No
right
way.
on the nose.
I'm done, dude.
Oh,
79 is the Metascore of the
Oh.
PS2 version of Deadly Alliance.
My
I
hands
kid
were
you
up the
not,
whole time.
This man is on a roll tonight.
Yeah, he is. Oh man.
I better
Cicero,
go play the
you just-
lottery.
I think the tie was warranted with your arguments. I thought you guys both argued brilliantly, and I think we knew what was going to happen
My
because
brain
he
hurts,
guessed
dude.
my number that
Yeah.
I was thinking right off the bat.
Yep. He said, "I better not
Oh,
go
my
to a
goodness.
tiebreaker." He's locked in.
What
He's
is
locked in.
going on?
Oh man, you got the podium.
Oh my goodness. Justin, a word to your fans.
Quack, quack, quack. The duck is back. I don't know how it happened. Thanks for believing in me. Craziness ensued, and the shenanigans are here to stay. And Cicero, thank you for those awesome debates. That was insane.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Good
Yeah.
job tonight, guys. All right, let's get into the news. Cicero, we're going your way first.
Okay.
Here's why.
Why?
Because you are the only one who has ever physically been to E3 out of this panel here. So
What's E3?
Can I do something
E3.
special?
Oh, sure. If you want.
Can I honorably give my point to Cicero for his awesome debating tonight? Is that legal? Can I do that?
Nah, man. No, this is.
Nah,
Cicero's
yeah,
not going to
no.
take it.
I'm not taking
You-
it. I'm not taking
you
it.
brought
Yeah,
you started the
everybody-
scoring system for
Yeah,
the
everybody-
end of the year. So
Everybody earns what they got. You know.
All right. So again, news time. E3 has been officially canceled after major publisher after major publisher backed out. E3 just really could not exist with what it had. I do know they had, teams like Limited Run Games coming, but really at the end of the day, like all that was left was maybe like Embracer Group, and they had said nothing about it. There was maybe some other smaller places, and so they just really didn't see. The proof was in the pudding, I think, after all three of the major publishers were sort of out, and then Sega and Tencent, and then Ubisoft backed out. Yeah, so Cicero, I want you to just tell us tell us about E3 just slightly, and then just give like a we'll go around the horn and say like some of our favorite moments.
Going to E3 really felt like I was part of the industry. Because when the first time I went, it was still an industry only event. And so you knew that everybody that was there was working to either get coverage or to give coverage. So it was really, really cool. I guess so. My first E3 on the show floor, walking into the LA Convention Center, right? And this is a thing that you've dreamed of. You've watched it on G4, you watched it on IGN, you've watched the YouTube videos, you've seen the LA Convention Center, you've seen the E3 banners and all those other things, and you always wondered what it would be like to walk through those halls. And I did it, and like I walked in, I walked up the stairs, or I was going up the escalator, and as I was going up the escalator, Marty Sleva from IGN was coming down the escalator, and I was like, "Hey, Marty, how you doing?" And is exchanging words, and then I was like, "Oh man, that was really cool." I just ran into Marty Sleva, and then as I was walking, I walked another like 10, 15 feet on the after I walked off the escalator, and I ran into Cliff Bleszinski, and so then I was sitting and talking to Cliff Bleszinski. And then after I finished talking to Cliff Bleszinski, I was walking a little bit further, and I ran into Adam Boyes. So I was like, "Hey, Adam," and I was sitting and talking to Adam Boyes. And then I was approaching the doors to the show floor proper, and I ran into Tim Schafer. And I was like, "Oh, hey, Tim," and I was sitting and talking to Tim Schafer. Then I walked in to E3, right? Like that was my introduction to E3. And clearly that's something that I'll never forget. It was incredible to be able to do that. Even better was to have people after the show see the stuff that we were able to do over at Spawn on Me and look at us as peers. So that was great. And it really was super affirming. In subsequent years, that a lot of the luster, a lot of the shine was taken off of the show because, and not to belittle it, but adding fans to the show really diminished the show in certain ways, especially because they didn't do it the way that they did it at oh man, I've got so much crap in my head. Gamescom, right, in Europe. So in Europe, at Gamescom, there's like 2 days of press only. So it's like, Wednesday, Thursday is press only, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday is press and the fans. The way E3 did it was like, I think it was 1 day that was press only, and then there was like an hour or two before the doors opened for the fans. So like those, like once you got to that, it was this mad dash from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. to try and get as much coverage as you possibly could before the doors opened at 11 for the fans. And now you're trying to get through and make appointments and meet up with people and do all that stuff and get film content with this, this rush of people that are there to just enjoy the games, right? They're there to enjoy the games, and they see personalities and do all this stuff and wind up like interrupting people because they're not thinking about the fact that these people are working. All of that stuff it really brought the show down, I think. And then of course the pandemic only helped to exacerbate why the show as it was constructed wasn't necessary anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna miss portions of it, but I don't think that the show is really necessary or relevant the way that the industry is constructed now.
Yeah. Justin, what are some of your favorite E3 moments? I know you've never been, but watch it on the TV every year.
Back when we had a cable connected to our TV, there was this channel called G4, which was a gaming channel, which got taken off the air and brought back a couple times, but eventually it was gone, and then we didn't see it. And they used to do great coverage of the show, from hosting it and being there talking the entire time and then switching to the show, to really giving us the details of as if we were there. Now we get, the vloggers and the people that used to go, and help give us kind of like the deets, but it's not going to ever be what it was. And I wish it was, because having all of the game, it was a celebration more than anything. And having all of the fans there with the popular gaming community, is really beneficial in my opinion. And having them intertwined there with things that they all are there loving, is always beneficial for the community. And it's sad to think that it's gone, but in the same way, we are getting Games Fest, we're getting directs, and we're getting different ways to still get the information, just not the experience. And that's what we're not going to ever get back.
Yeah, I, being a fan of football and obviously a fan of video games, I have 2 Super Bowls each and every year, and it was the Super Bowl, right? And then it was also E3. And I was listening to Game Scoop, I believe yesterday, maybe finished it today, but Damon Hatfield was saying that, it's about just how much energy was around that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, right? Because those were when the showcases were. You usually had EA's on Saturday, Xbox on Sunday, along with Bethesda before they were merged, right? And then you had Sony, Ubisoft, and others on Monday, and then you ended it with Nintendo on Tuesday, right? And it was just this rush of information. I would watch everything that I could, because obviously you watch a PlayStation podcast, or not podcast, sorry. You watch a PlayStation showcase and you're seeing games that will end up on the console of your choice. Like I was usually an Xbox player. I've always had Nintendo systems, so I would watch the Nintendo one as well. And it was such an amazing time just to watch all of those things in this sort of, walled off time. And now we're not getting that, right? Excuse me. Now we do, even though we are getting it, it's a lot more spread out, right? It's not all within this one time frame. And so, yeah, I am going to miss E3, because E3 was something to look forward to a lot. I do agree with Cicero, though. I think the industry has moved on. It is a lot cheaper just to do a Nintendo Direct style thing. And when Nintendo started doing that, Sony saw that it was easier and cheaper. And then Xbox, obviously. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, it's something that I will miss. But there are still things to look forward to, thankfully. But yeah, E3. Now, do you guys think E3 comes back in any capacity, or do you think it's just donezo?
Yeah, 365, right, Cicero?
There you go. There you go.
No, I don't believe that it's going to come back on my side.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's done. And I just want to point something out that Justin was saying, that he thought it was great that the fans were there, and I know this may sound elitist when I say it, and I almost kind of don't care that it sounds elitist, but having the fans there was not great. Now I get it, right? I get for everyone, right? Even, for me as a fan, it was the dream to go to E3, right? But it was, and just like Mike, it was my second Super Bowl. It was the other thing. It was the other big event that I look forward to every year, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a difference between buying a ticket and watching the Super Bowl in the stands and being on the field to play. There was, when you watch E3 on G4, which, Duck, I agree with you. That's what made it great, right? Was I had a front row seat to all of the press conferences, and then I got these great interviews, and it was all coming from the same place. So I knew that when I went to talk to my friends about it, we were all getting the same information, so we could talk about the same information, as opposed to, one vlogger who forgot one point, or he missed up a bullet point, or, and now you've got conflicting information, and then you got to figure out what the real information is after all of that. Having it on G4 and having that event space over the course of, what became a week was just, it was heaven. It was heaven. It was, it was March Madness and the Super Bowl all wrapped up into one. But going to E3 meant you were on the field for the Super Bowl, right? And I didn't need fans running on the field in the Super Bowl, right? Like when the fans run on the field in the Super Bowl, somebody comes and tackles them, and then they get escorted back to jail, right? Like, this was an industry event for people in the industry to get content that they can disseminate to their, to their communities. Mm-hmm. And if we wanted, the intermingling of fans, there are all of these other events throughout the course of the year that you could go to. There are the PAXs, both, West Coast and the East Coast. There's, South by. There are all of these. C2E2 was just here in Chicago this past weekend. There are all of these events that where the fans can mingle and see personalities and also play games and do all of those things. And they didn't have to be in E3. The reason that people wanted to go to E3 was because it was E3, not because they were going to be able to do something there that they couldn't do other places. But what E3 meant for people within the industry was, this was a place where I could, get all of the content. Everybody was going to be in the same place. We can make deals. We can figure out things. We can network. We can, try and do things in the future. But also, it's like summer camp for all of these people that bust their hump, putting out content, writing stories, doing interviews, working for little to no money to serve people that are, that always want to argue with them, but because they love this industry and they love this medium, and being able to sit and converse and commune with them, it was like summer camp. And that's the thing that I'm going to miss and it's the thing that I miss all the time is seeing all of my friends, seeing the people that were my peers that I didn't necessarily get to spend a lot of time with all the time. Here's a time when we could, and we can all commiserate about how tough this job is and how little it pays. And that, that was the great thing about E3. But again, like, EA's doing their own thing, Microsoft's doing their own thing, Nintendo's, Sony, everybody's doing their own thing, and it's a hell of a lot easier to produce something and in your home base that is perfectly curated and deliver the message that you want to deliver, and you get to own the news cycle, and it's so much cheaper than the grandiose booths that you would see at E3 or any other type of convention.
Justin, really quick, favorite moment of E3?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Jeez. That I can't even. Like I was a big okay, this is gonna sound childish. I was a big fan of Morgan Webb growing up. You know who that was?
Yep.
Uh yeah. It was probably just watching all of her interviews and stuff growing up.
Nice.
Honestly, there's no like specific moment. Obviously the new Xbox reveal was huge, but I don't know. I really can't pick any. Like they're all just so memorable. Like it was such a perfect time to just be into games and also have something about games that you could just be indulged in. It was perfect.
So yeah, I'm an Xbox fan. I mean, but I will admit that one of the greatest E3 moments was when Sony was like, "Here's how you share games,"
Right.
and that was it. That was one of the greatest moments. It was hilarious. It was perfect console war stuff.
Sick burn.
You know, and yeah, it was as you just said, Cicero, a sick burn. All right. Moving on, PSVR 2 reportedly off to an underwhelming start. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. Sony's PlayStation VR 2 is reportedly off to an underwhelming start, with the virtual reality headset only expected to sell 270,000 units by the end of March. As reported by Bloomberg, the figure comes from research firm IDC, and while 270,000 is still a lot of headsets, reports last year indicated that Sony was looking to produce 2 million PSVR 2 units to be sold by the end of March.
That's a whole lot of units.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like Square Enix a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so just really quick thoughts. How do they is a price cut just the only thing that's going to fix this, or was this maybe going to be a mistake, Justin?
You know, like VR is still a niche. Obviously, like I'm a fan, and people who are fans, but you're not really gaining fans until there's more immersion level that's not going to cause sickness. There's a huge community that just can't do VR because of motion sickness. Mike, you're included in that. And I feel like it might be too early. You know, like the Quest 2 is only doing well because it's a cheap model. Sure, it's great and it's perfect to use for the buy-in person. But you also, with the PlayStation, have to have a PS5, and then you have to buy another peripheral just to enjoy the content, and you have to buy games on top of that. So maybe it's too soon. Maybe it's early. It's obviously very high quality and it's high-end VR for sure, but maybe it's too soon for the community to accept that with that price tag.
Yeah. Cicero?
Yeah, well, you know, if you give me an accessory for my thing that costs more than the thing, then, you know, the expectation can't be that that it's going to sell incredibly well, right? Like that's it's literally a hard sell. So I just think the expectations were way off. I think almost 300,000 units I'm surprised that it sold that many. You know, at that price point. So yeah, so the fact that they believe that to be a colossal failure is incredible. The thought that 2 million people in this financial climate would see the value in spending, you know, 105% of the price of the console on a peripheral for the console and still have to buy software for that peripheral is the height of out of touchness. So it's that's silly business. So yeah, it's a little bit of little Square Enix ish.
Yeah. I mean, I think the price was wrong. I also think that the compatibility was wrong. It should have been compatible with PSVR 1. I think that would have pushed a little bit more units than it has.
Well,
so.
I don't think the
more units.
I don't think I don't think the price is like I don't think the price is what it is. I don't think the price is ever going to come. Well, not ever, but the price isn't coming down. Right? They're not going to lower the price in order to move units because that's not going to do it. Just as Justin said, it may have done a little bit. I don't think that. I think technically they weren't able to bring over the PSVR 1 games, but what they should have done was give people vouchers for the PSVR 2 versions of those games. I shouldn't have
when they would be released.
Right. So I shouldn't have to rebuy my library within the same console family for the same 100%. Software, right? Like these are licenses for software. I should be able to play that software on the newer version of the hardware. So,
100%. Yeah. All right. 2 more quick news stories for you. Sure. Xbox is getting rid of the $1 new user deal. So just keep in mind that deal, and all your separate email accounts will not get it any longer. So,
did they say what the trial is going to be now?
They have said that they have plans to release new promotional type offers soon. Okay. So we just gotta stay tuned. I'm
thinking like holidays and stuff like that. They'll do like a holiday kind of thing.
And then Best Buy has leaked that there are third-party storage expansions coming that are not just Seagate to the proprietary Xbox Series consoles. So Western Digital is actually possibly entering it and making for context, the Seagate one is $220 for the 1 terabyte, and the Western Digital, it's still expensive, but it is a cheaper option. I believe the listing said $180, so $179.99. So it is something, but yeah. All right. Let's get to our gaming draft. Video game on-screen adaptations, video game movies, TV shows. I believe we've done, well, I know for sure we did a leaderboard of this when we were doing leaderboards way back in the day, but I don't think we've done this for the gaming draft. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't believe so.
No.
Okay. So, Justin, the rules are simple. You won, so you get to choose the order.
Is it snake draft or is it just regular?
It's regular
draft.
All right. I'll go first. Cicero, you can go second, and then Mike, you'll go third. I'm gonna jump on The Witcher for my first pick.
Okay.
All right. And
The Witcher.
When he said I thought he was going to say the correct number 1 pick, The Last of Us.
Good pick.
That's a very good pick. So should I choose Halo? No, I'm just kidding.
Not good. Whoa. If you did, I would be confused.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
All right.
Sonic the Hedgehog movies, so good. Justin, next
also
pick.
The animated show from back in the day. That's decent. I'm going with Pokemon. That's it. Pokemon. You know, it was a great show growing up. It's continued to excel in a show. The movies are great as well. Detective Pikachu and
so you've got the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great one. I like that one.
All right, Cicero.
Yeah, I was going Detective Pikachu, but since we can't do Detective Pikachu, I'm gonna go Resident Evil.
It's a good one. It's on my list.
Hey.
Now I have to bring up Google. Because 3 of my 5 are taken.
I'm going Mortal Kombat for my second one.
Really?
Mortal Kombat!
Yeah.
Really?
That new movie was pretty good.
The new movie was fun. I really love the hard R rating on that. But as far as like adaptation and closeness to the story, believe it or not, as cheesy as it was, the 1995 movie is very close. So yeah. All right.
You know what? I'm going with an underrated one for my last one here. I'm going with the Cuphead show. I thought it was a great show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the animation was great. It tied in with the game perfectly. The jokes, the humor, it was great. I enjoyed it. The Cuphead show, little underrated topic.
This is really going to be.
You could still pick Halo, by the way, Cicero.
Right? Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick something equally as controversial. And pick Prince of Persia.
Interesting. Like Jake Gyllenhaal?
Okay.
Prince of Persia?
Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a thing.
That's a controversial one.
Yeah, that's a.
I wouldn't say just as controversial as
movie.
Halo, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, if nobody's choosing Halo here, all right. I'm just being honest, guys. Okay, just being honest. All right. Let's see here. I have not watched it, but so this is a gaming draft, and our listeners are supposed to decide. So I'm gonna go with Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
It's good. I thought you were gonna do Arcane, honestly. But Cyberpunk
Cyberpunk Edgerunners is one of those that I definitely want to watch, but I want to wait until I play the game, so I just have some context. That's all. So, all right, Cicero, you have The Last of Us, Resident Evil, and Prince of Persia. Justin, you have The Witcher, Pokemon, and The Cuphead Show. And I have Sonic the Hedgehog, the movies, Mortal Kombat, and Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Listeners, down in the comments below, let us know what you think is the best draft of the night for our video game adaptations. Cicero's pointing at himself. Don't listen to the man.
He's got some good picks there. Maybe not at the tail end, but most of the beginning of it was pretty good.
I mean, some of those tail end Resident Evil movies are rough too.
Also, anyway. It kind of split it down the middle. And you got like both sides of the coin.
All right. Again, Justin, our big winner today. Please, once again, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Let's hit that goal of 20 reviews. And if you're on Spotify mobile, hit the star rating there. YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and follow us on Twitter at WhatTheFunPod. You can connect with us there. Leave us a message. Let us know how we're doing. Hey, this has been Test Your Might 112. You guys, we're 112 episodes into this dang thing, and I'm loving every second of it still. My name is Mike. That's Cicero. That's Justin. See you guys later. Bye.